Welcome dear friends to my video lecture on education. Simply we are going to talk about what is education, what is the narrow meaning of education, what is the broad meaning of education, what are the characteristics and how this particular word education has been derived from various words from different languages. All these things are very important because in the exam anything can be asked. For competitive exams, NET exam, TRB, for any exam for that matter, these things are very basic and these could be asked. So let us straight away enter into the topic. I am Dr.I.JESU DOSS SJ, a former associate professor and a research supervisor from St.Xavier's College of Education, Palayamkotti. After retirement, I am giving quite a lot of videos whenever I have time. During holidays and all, I am giving quite a lot of educational videos for your benefit. Kindly watch them and subscribe them if you want. I am sure it will be of great help to you. And yes, my main focus is to prepare students for NET paper 1, NET education. Soon I am going to give other subjects also. A lot of plans I am having. Of course, if time permits, I will be able to do all these things. Now, thank you for your presence. Let us straight away enter into the topic. What is education? Education is the most powerful weapon to change the world, according to Nelson Mandela. Education is the most important and powerful instrument to shape and mold human being. Education is the root cause for any change. Education is the root cause for any change. Education takes place in the social, cultural, spiritual, political and economic aspects of human beings. Education helps an individual to adjust with the environment to fulfill his needs and objectives of life. Thus, education is the need of human life like food, clothes and shelter. In fact, education is the investment for one's life. This is the most important product definition. It's an investment for one's life. What is the meaning and definition of education? In English, education has been derived from 4 Latin words. These are educare, educere, educatum and educo. Educare means the term, the pronunciation will be different because they have been all these words are from other languages, so how we will pronounce, it all depends on us because, in the native learned, they will be pronouncing in a different manner. But for our own understanding, we will have a particular way of pronouncing these words. Educare. The term educare means to train or mold or to raise or to nourish. That is the meaning of educare. Educere means to lead out or to draw out or bring forth what is within. In other words, it means to draw out the hidden powers of the child. Then educatum means the act of teaching. It throws light on the principles and practice of teaching. Then another word, the 4th word, educo. It is a combination of 2 words, e and duco. E stands for out of and duco means to draw out or lead out the inner power of man. So these are all the 4 definitions given by 4 different words. It is supposed that education, the word education has been derived from these 4 words. Now, definition of education by different educationists. Famous educationists like Plato, Aristotle, how they define education. What is the Plato's views on education? Man is a combination of body and soul. Education has to develop the physical and spiritual qualities of man. According to Aristotle, education is the creation of a sound mind in a sound body. According to Swami Vivekananda, education is the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in man. According to Gandhiji, By education, I mean Gandhiji means an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man, body, mind and spirit in all aspects. So according to Gandhiji, by education, he means an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man in mind and spirit, body, mind and spirit. What is the nature of education? Education is a social process because of course so many people are involved in giving education. As a social process, education involves the teacher, the learner and the curriculum. Education is a purposeful and conscious process. It is a purposeful and conscious process for attaining certain objectives in life. Hence, the process of education is conducted in a planned manner. Education is a lifelong continuous process. The child receives education not only from the teachers in the school, but also through his life experiences. Then education is a dynamic process, that is ever growthful process. It never stops at one point and it goes on and on. The process of education is dynamic, not static. It starts from the birth of a person and continues till death. Education is a two-way process. Education is a two-way process in which there are two parts, one teacher and the other student. Both these parts remain active in the process of teaching. Another definition, nature of education is a three-polar. Education is a three-polar activity. Education is a three-polar process and has three parts, one teacher, second child and third curriculum. Education is a process of development. Every child is born with some innate powers. These powers of the child develop in the social environment through education. What is the narrow meaning of education? In its narrow sense, education means schooling. Here, everything is systematic and pre-planned. The curriculum, methods of teaching, examination and teacher are pre-planned. It is a systematic process to achieve the definite goals of education through classroom instruction. A learner can get proper employment after getting a certificate from these institutions. This is the narrow meaning of education. Overall, we can say that formal education is the narrow view of education. Anything that happens in the school or in the college comes under this narrow view of education. Nevertheless, it is very important. Without the certificate from the school or college, we cannot enter into any job opportunity. Characteristics of narrow meaning of education. It is a planned, organized and formalized process. It is a deliberate and controlled modification of the behavior of the child. Education is imparted at a particular place, school, at a definite time by a definite person. Education is equivalent to instruction. It is the acquisition of knowledge and skill. It is deliberate, planned and generally dominated by teachers. Education is considered an influence on an immature person by a matured one, namely the teacher. Here, students are passive recipients of knowledge and information. The amount of knowledge is measured in terms of degrees and diplomas. Now, let us talk about the broad meaning of education. So, you must understand that narrow meaning of education is nothing but education given in the educational institutions, either in the school or in the college with a certain system. That is how you have to understand the narrow meaning of education. Now, let us understand the broad meaning of education. In the broader sense, education is not limited to the four walls of the classroom. It is a lifelong process. It is a modification of behavior, that is a change of behavior and experience. Education helps one to adjust in the changing environment. That is the broad meaning of education. Education equips a person with a different knowledge, experiences and skills for his all-round development. In a broader sense, life is education and education is life. The experiences gained through the house, temple, church, family, playground, club, society, school include the broader meaning of education. To make a wider meaning of education, broader meaning of education, we need to be very clear. The following opinion of philosophers are given like this. According to Swami Vivekananda, education is the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in man. According to Gandhiji, by education he means an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man, body, mind and spirit. What are the characteristics of broader meaning of education? Education is a lifelong process. Education is not limited to the classroom and school only. It is free and uncontrolled. It means the process of development from infancy to maturity. Education is meant for the development of balanced, all-round, harmonious development of personality. Education comprises the totality of our experiences. That is the broader meaning of education. Education is based on innate potentialities and abilities of children. So, what can we say as concluding remarks? We can conclude from the above points, narrow sense of education is for maximum development of a child. And a wider sense of education gives the all-round development of children. Anyhow, education is a lifelong process. Now, let us straight away enter into some of the questions. We can reflect on some of the important questions relevant to this topic, education. According to the Nelson Mandela, what is the most powerful weapon to change the world? A. Technology, B. Politics, C. Education, D. Economy. That is education. Nelson Mandela emphasized the importance of education as the key instrument to drive societal change, to bring social change. What is the narrow meaning of education? A process that happens throughout life. B. Education as formal schooling. C. An informal acquisition of life skills. D. A combination of social and spiritual development. What would be the correct answer? That is, narrow meaning of education is nothing but education as formal schooling that happens in the school or college. In the narrow sense, education refers to systematic, pre-planned instruction delivered in a formal environment like schools and colleges. Which philosopher described education as the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in man? A. Aristotle, B. Plato, C. Gandhiji, D. Swami Vivekananda. Of course, Swami Vivekananda, that is his definition. Vivekananda believed that education brings out the inherent divine potential in every individual. The word educare means A. to draw out, B. to nourish or train, C. to instruct, D. to develop the body and mind. What would be the correct answer? Educare means to nourish or train. So, educare refers to raising or nourishing, emphasizing the role of education in shaping individuals, that is students. Which word in Latin means to lead out or to draw out? A. Educare, B. Educere, C. Educatum, D. Educo. Educere. Educere means drawing out the inner potential which aligns with the broader view of education. According to Aristotle, education aims to A. develop the body and soul, B. create a sound mind in a sound body, C. bring forth the hidden talents, D. achieve formal degrees. What would be the correct answer? That is, education aims to create a sound mind in a sound body according to Aristotle. Aristotle believed in the holistic development of a person's mental and physical aspects through education. Education is considered a lifelong process because A. it ends when a person finishes schooling, B. it continues throughout life through experiences, C. it happens only in formal institutions, D. it is limited to childhood. What would be the correct answer? Education is considered as a lifelong process because it continues throughout life through one's experiences. Education is an ongoing process that encompasses life experiences, not limited to formal schooling. Education is an ongoing process that encompasses that includes life experiences, not limited to formal schooling. Which of the following is not a characteristic of narrow education? A planned, organized process. B. Free and uncontrolled. C. Pre-planned curriculum. D. Imparts knowledge for formal certification. Please note the words here. Which of the following is not a characteristic? So one of the options is not a characteristic of narrow education, that you have to find out. So you see the alternative B, free and uncontrolled. That comes under liberal education, in other words, broader meaning of education. So that is the right answer here. Yes, it is not a characteristic of narrow education. Free and uncontrolled. In the narrow sense, education is systematic, organized and controlled, whereas broader education is free and uncontrolled. That way we have to argue. Now, education is a dynamic process because A. It is static and unchanging. B. It evolves and continues throughout life. C. It is only limited to school environments. D. It is a one-time process. So, education is a dynamic process because it evolves and continues throughout life. Education is dynamic, constantly adapting to societal changes and personal growth from birth until death. So, that way it is dynamic, ever growthful, in other words, it is going on and on. What does the term tripolar refer to in education? A. Education involves a teacher, student and society. B. The balance between spiritual, physical and mental growth. C. The involvement of teacher, learner and curriculum. D. The partnership between family, school and church. What should be the correct answer? The tripolar refers to what? The involvement of teacher, learner and curriculum. Education is considered tripolar, three poles, three endpoints, tripolar, where the teacher, student and curriculum form the key components. Which of the following is not a component of the broader meaning of education? A. Lifelong process. B. Formal classroom instruction. C. Modification of behavior through life experiences. D. Free and uncontrolled. So here the question is, which is not a component of the broader meaning of education? So one of the alternatives will be giving broader meaning, a narrow meaning. So it will not be included in the broader meaning. What is that they are asking? A. Lifelong process. B. Formal classroom instruction. C. Modification of behavior through life experience. D. Free and uncontrolled. So formal classroom instruction, that will not come under broader meaning of education. In the broader sense, education is not confined to the classroom and encompasses various life experiences. Encompasses means it includes various life experiences. According to Gandhiji, education should A. Focus only on academic knowledge. B. Draw out the best in body, mind and spirit. C. Be limited to formal schools. D. Teach professional skills. What would be the correct answer? Draw out the best in body, mind and spirit. Gandhiji emphasized an all-round development that includes physical, mental and spiritual aspects. What is the key characteristic of the narrow meaning of education? A. Unstructured learning. B. A passive reception of knowledge. C. Free and uncontrolled growth. D. All-round development of personality. So what is the key characteristic of narrow meaning of education? What is happening in the classroom? Most of the times students are passive. They are listening to a teacher. So correct answer will be a passive reception of knowledge. In the narrow view, education is a systematic process where students are passive recipients of pre-planned knowledge. So that is the correct answer. Key characteristics of the narrow meaning of knowledge of education. Which Latin term emphasizes the act of teaching? A. Educare, B. Educere, C. Educatum, D. Edico. That is educatum. Act of teaching means that is educatum. That word refers to the act of teaching. Educatum refers to the act of teaching, focusing on the principles and methods involved in instruction. Education as a social process involves A. Only the learner, B. The teacher, learner and curriculum, C. Parents and school management, D. Society as a whole. So what would be the correct answer? Education as a social process involves the teacher, learner and curriculum. In fact, the society, curriculum or the society. Education is a collaborative process involving active roles from the teacher, student and the society or the curriculum. So it's a collaborative process. All, put their efforts, put their mind, in giving the form of education. That is the idea there. It's a collaborative process involving active roles of the teacher, student and the curriculum or the society. In the broad sense, education, A, happens only in schools. B is limited to academic achievements. C is a lifelong process and occurs through various life experiences. D is limited to teachers' instruction. In the broad sense, education means what? It is a lifelong process and occurs through various life experiences. The broader meaning of education extends beyond formal settings and continues through diverse life experiences. Which philosopher viewed education as developing both physical and spiritual qualities? A. Aristotle, B. Plato, C. Gandhiji, D. Swami Vivekananda. What is the question? Which philosopher viewed education as developing both physical and spiritual qualities? Plato believed in the dual development of physical and spiritual qualities through education. Sound mind in a sound body, that way. The term educo is derived from which words? Of course, very simple one. A. E and educare, B. E and duco, C. Edu and care, D. E and cure. Correct answer will be E and duco. E duco combines E out of and duco to draw, referring to drawing out an individual's inner potential. That is the meaning of E duco. In a broader sense, education helps an individual A. Acquire formal degrees, B. Adjust to the changing environment, C. Gain systematic school knowledge, D. Limit learning to childhood. In the broader sense, education helps an individual to adjust to the changing environment. Broader education equips individuals with the skills and knowledge to navigate and adapt to life's challenges. Education is called a two-way process because A. It involves only the teacher and society. B. Both teacher and learner play active roles. C. It only happens in schools. D. It focuses solely on students. What would be the correct answer? Education is called a two-way process because both teacher and learner play active roles. In education, both the teacher and student contribute actively to the teaching learning process. The broad meaning of education emphasizes A. Formal exams and certification. B. Balanced all-round development of personality. C. A planned and systematic curriculum. D. Employment after formal training. So the broad meaning of education emphasizes balanced all-round development of personality. Broader education aims for holistic development covering intellectual, emotional, physical and social growth. Which of the following is a feature of broad education? A. Measured in degrees. B. Lifelong process involving experiences. C. Only imparted by teachers. D. Restricted to formal settings. What would be the correct answer? Which of the following is a feature of broad education? lifelong process involving experiences. That is the feature of broad education. Lifelong. Life goes on till death. That is the idea here. Education in the broad sense is a continuous process that incorporates informal learning through life experiences. Which of the following is true about formal education in the narrow sense? A. It is an uncontrolled process. B. It is dominated by teachers and planned curricula. C. It involves experiential learning. D. It focuses on free development of personality. What would be the correct answer? Which one of the following is true about formal education in the narrow sense? That is, it is dominated by teachers and planned curricula. Education is dominated by teachers and planned curricula. That is true about formal education in the narrow sense. Narrow education is structured with a focus on systematic teaching by trained educators. The phrase education is life and life is education represents which view of education? A. Broad sense, C. Narrow sense, C. Institutional view, D. Professional view. Which would be the correct answer? That is broad sense. The view reflects the broader meaning of education where learning occurs continuously throughout life. So the phrase education is life and life is education represents a broader meaning of education. In narrow education, success is often measured by A. Personal growth and development, B. The accumulation of certificates and degrees, C. Experiential knowledge, D. Spiritual enlightenment. What would be the correct answer? The accumulation of certificates and degrees. In the narrow sense, education is often seen as a pathway to formal qualifications and professional credentials. Of course, you understood. So, in the narrow sense of education, education is often seen as a pathway to formal qualifications and professional credentials. Thank you very much, dear friends. God bless you abundantly for your presence. Kindly subscribe. I will be very much boosted up in order to give more and more relevant videos for you in order to crack TET, TET or NET, TNSET, any other exam for that matter. Thank you very much for your presence.